Greetings everyone and welcome to a new First Taste for the channel, where today we're going to be checking out Terracards, a roguelike deck builder farming game. Now, it is self-described as a tactical roguelike deck builder, and that is certainly true, but I feel the best way to describe Terracards is as the answer to the burning question of what if Forager, but roguelike? This game has a lot in common with Forager, even down to the way you're kind of expanding with square islands. And it also has a cute kind of chill atmosphere it has this very easy flowing chill atmosphere that kind of tricks you into not noticing how engaging it's getting. That is, if you get to late game, which I am happy to report is not a guarantee. This game does have a lot of tactics to it, but it's always easier to show than to describe. But just to let you know, this is in early access. It has been available since the 7th of November and is developed by Pixel Perfect. I do quite like the name there. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump straight in. Now, this is a first taste, but as with any first taste, if by the end of the video you enjoyed what you saw and you want to see more, then do let me and Saint Algorithmus know with those beautiful buttons down below. But I will do my best to showcase how this game works, because unfortunately the tutorial is one and done. The first time you go through it, that's it. Yeah, you're done. Now you're never going to get to see it again, at least not to my ability to find it. I'm sure someone's going to say, but if you just press this button, and be like, oh yes, it was staring me in the face all along. But we are playing a game that is split into turns. You have days. Every 10 days you have to pay your rent or your taxes. The taxes double, or some function. I think it's actually triple, but it says they double every 10 days, but it also says it starts at 50. Apparently the tax office didn't get the memo. Nevertheless, we have to make money and have a certain amount available to us on the 10th day, otherwise it's game over. Also, if we ever end a day by clicking on this button down here, whilst we're in debt, it's game over. We can expand out our playfield. The cost increases. It's kind of like an incremental game in that way. We can look through here. We've got the market. We can allow the game to auto-sell all of our crops at the end of the turn, and honestly, I would strongly recommend turning that on. I have lost games with an inventory full of produce only because I didn't have this turned on. So generally speaking, let's leave that on. We've also got our deck of cards. Now, our deck is not renewed. We spend these cards. This is the amount of cards we have up here. This is the amount of gold it costs to play the card. And each card has various effects. There are 3 types of card. There's plants, there's structures, and there's animals. And if we have a look down here, you can have a look through all of the cards that are available. There are a lot. This game, its bread and butter is synergies. Unfortunately, while I would like to tell you that I am already well versed and I know all of the synergies and I have a plan, I do not. I am going to be just fumbling my way around, trying to avoid the most obvious pitfalls, but probably not with enough foreplanning to guide us towards some golden, successful future. We're just going to try and dodge the taxman for as long as we possibly can. But each card has a cost. So, for example, 1 wheat will require 1 water and produce wheat. But almost everything has a synergy. All crops have the most basic synergy. That is, if you've got 4 of them in a tight cluster, a 2x2 cluster, they will double their base production. Carrot over here, for example, will reduce the water cost of animals on adjacent islands. An olive tree, adjacent island wheat water cost is 0, so this completely wipes out any cost to the water for any nearby wheat, and all plants have similar things. The more advanced the item, the more interesting it becomes. Corn will get +2 production if there's only corn on its island with it. The animals can have some very, very interesting effects. For example, a chicken, if adjacent to wine producing wine production, it drinks it, turning into a drunk chicken. If it's adjacent to blue wheat, it uses energy instead of water. Don't ask me how. It's a game, okay? We're just gonna have to suspend our disbelief for a little bit. Juice over here requires 20 fuel. You have to pay in gold. Almost all buildings, if not all buildings, require a gold fee to simply exist. And so that's an additional, that's their resource. Gold is the resource. Some of them have other resources as well, for example, the cost in fuel there, but as long as it's got these items within range, then it will upgrade them into more valuable versions. That's the nuts and bolts. That's the main game loop for us. So let's start out. First and foremost, we've got no water, and everything we've got is going to need some water, so we're going to place down this well right here, and then we're going to follow up with some wheat. Now, I think you can only have like 5 cards in your hand. I think you can expand that as you go. Every 3 days you can add some cards to your deck, and every 20 days you get to add a permanent effect, which can very, very greatly change the direction of the game. Now, I'm a big fan of trying to keep my islands somewhat distinct and managed, so I'm going to place my cows over here. There we go. You always start with a well, 2 wheat, and a cow and a fence at the start of the game, or at least so far as I have seen. The cows will consume hay, I do believe, or rather wheat. It'll also eat wine and become a crazy cow, fair enough. But it consumes 3 water and wheat and gives us 1 milk. At this point, we have 3 wheat because the well, actually, I didn't quite go over that. It +1 production to all crops on the same island. It has to be the same island, though. There is a way of us seeing a little bit more information as well. For example, if we go into options and turn on nerd mode, we will then see what's being produced. It's producing 10 water. This is consuming 1 water and producing 2 wheat at the moment. And honestly, having that in the early game is much easier. Having it in the late game is necessary, but in the late game it does get visually busy, let's say. So toggling between the two every now and then is probably what we'll be doing. Let's go ahead and get some more cows. As you can see, this field only has 10 slots and each cow occupies 3, but I'm happy to pop them down. We've got more than enough wheat to cover them. But now we are going into water debt, but we've got a water surplus, so I'm not too in a rush to take care of that. Carrots are an interesting one. We'd get 14 carrots here. That's quite nice. Excuse me, I do apologize. Bit of a frog in my throat there. We've got -1 water cost to animals on adjacent islands. I mean, as by itself, that's actually pretty good. We've also got 15 wheat. How much do carrots sell for? I very much approve of the fact I can just click on everything. I wish it was a back button, but honestly, I can just click over here and find it again. It's a little less convenient, but just having this and being able to link into things, so useful. Well, honestly, let's get rid of the water over there and start putting down some carrots over here. We are definitely going to need some extra water, though, so we'll pop that one down. But as you can see, now that I've got a very, very full deck, I've got 14 carrots. So I'm going to see carrots a lot, most likely. Let's go ahead and pop these down here, and ideally I want to bring them together. And my cows are now effectively free. Of course, the carrots are consuming that instead, but still, I think that's a good trade right now. Let's go ahead and place another one. There we are. Hopefully that's going to double production. I would like to spread out. It seems that the nerd mode doesn't update super fast. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to update everything. I would like to expand out a little bit more. Do I have another fence? I do have another fence, and I even have another cow. So let's go ahead and start moving down here. I'm not going to place any more crops on this island just yet. There's a lot of different things that we need to bear in mind with this. Now, we've got water chickens. They lay water eggs because, duh. That produces 20 water per egg, but an additional 20 water if the egg is hatched. More on that later. It requires corn, though, and we don't produce corn. However, rabbits, now, we do have rabbits. Rabbits will add 2 production and 1 water cost to every carrot on adjacent islands. It occupies 2 slots, costs 2 water itself. It needs carrots, but produces rabbit feet. This game takes a leaf out of Stardew Valley's textbook in that rabbits produce the renewable resource of rabbit feet. Apparently, taking the feet off the rabbits doesn't seem to bother the rabbits at all. They just get more feet. One does wonder what would happen if you weren't there to take care of the rabbits and harvest their feet. Would they end up like a luggage, somewhat like 100-foot monstrosity? Who knows? But these are questions for another time, I feel. Sure, we'll grab some rabbits. I see no reason not to. I am going to want to expand out a little bit more as well. Let's go ahead and start expanding out over here, and we'll pop down some more carrots as well. Let's just pop some carrots in place. Now, this is almost certainly not a good way of designing if you know what you're going to get. So again, I'm going to come back to how I prefaced this this recording. I don't know all the synergies, so I'm erring on the side of caution while I learn, by leaving enough room for me to adjust my strategy depending on what happens. Unfortunately, we're not getting the cards that I very, very much want. I want a fence. Let's see, we've got peanuts. Peanuts turn adjacent cows into peanut cows. They cost one. Okay, game. That's not how cows or, in fact, peanuts work to the best of my knowledge, but who am I to say? Let's have a look at peanut cows. Peanut cows, they only require 2 slots, 2 water. They eat peanuts, but produce peanuts. They produce their own food. Some sort of infinite cow feedback loop. All right, I will take the peanuts. Fine. Let me just double check. Yeah, I do have a farm in there. This is the problem with having a very busy deck, is that getting the tile I want is hard. Oh yeah, we had just paid off our gold, and we've now got to do 300, so that's tripled. So much for doubled. Sorry, cows. I hope that wasn't painful. Nevertheless, have some peanuts. There we go. Now, yes, I am in debt there, but I will be selling this before turn's end. It's a little bit worrying when you see a big flashing negative like that, but don't worry, we aren't in trouble yet. Oh, my lord, where is this? When is that tile going to show up? I might just start getting rid of the carrots and the peanuts just so that I've got some extra room. Now, we've got a mill over here, but that requires fuel to work, so we're not going to worry about that. We do have grapes as well, but we can re-roll, and I think we will re-roll. The apple tree will increase production on... includes peanut cows. +1 production to itself and cows in adjacent islands for each cow. +2 water cost to each cow on adjacent islands. It also costs a lot of water by itself, which is a bit of a rough one, honestly. But I don't mind taking this for now. We have got a bit of a water surplus, so sure, we'll pick that up. But I think it is time for us to expand our island and start placing down some more peanuts hither and yon. There we go. We're not going to place down any carrots over there. Honestly, getting some more carrots around here would probably be a good move, but we'll see what happens. Oh, thank goodness it's finally here. Right, okay, let's pop you down. Now, that is going to start bumping up my water costs, and considering I just picked up the apple tree, probably not exactly something I want to go for straight away. We'll see how that plays out, though. There we are. The crops do seem to adjust their shape a little bit when you place them down, which I quite like. Let's go ahead and pop this there. I need a little bit more wheat, frankly, but oh well. Doesn't look like that's on the cards for us just yet. We are now in a deficit of 8 water, which is really not that great. Now, we've got popsicles, more carrots, pasteurizer. This would allow us to turn milk into pasteurized milk. Unfortunately, we've got peanut cows now. We don't make milk. However, popsicle. +5 production to cows in adjacent islands. That is amazing. It does cost me 20 gold to use, though, but amazing all the same. I would like some more water, please. I'll place some water down here. We've got our first apple showing up, which I'm going to hold off on. I don't think it would really help me to place that down right now. We are in a massive water deficit. This one doesn't increase water demands of our cows, so I'm okay with popping that down here for now. But, yeah, actually, I'll pop it there. Look at that. That's amazing. We should be bringing in a decent amount of money. 239 per turn. We're almost producing each turn what our tax is going to be at the end of the week. Now, considering the water deficit, maybe putting down rabbits is not the play here. Let's pop down another popsicle. There we go. So I'm definitely going to want more cows around this tile in particular. Can I fit that in? I can fit it in, because although the cow does require 3 slots, it will turn it into a peanut cow the moment I place it down. However, that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to place another cow here. Even though technically another peanut cow would fit in, I'm not placing down a peanut cow, I'm placing down a regular cow. So that's a little bit of a shame, but there we go. Right, we've got the silo. We've got more popsicles. Wow, I mean, that's really quite tempting. But we've got fuel wheat over here. Produces fuel. Again, don't ask. We do need fuel. A lot of our buildings require fuel. but I need water more. So let's roll until we find something with water. Medium fences got more slots on it, 16 instead of the paltry 10 that we've got right now. Reroll again. It costs with increasing amounts to reroll, but we need something that gives us water quite badly. So let's just keep dumping points into... Oh, this is very, very random. St. Algorithmus is not with us today, nor Chaotricles. Okay, water well, there we go. 4 of them, actually. That's very, very nice. I'll take it. Let's hope that we get one. Oh, thank goodness we did. Right, okay, so your crops can survive a little while without water, but I wouldn't push your luck with that. There we go. We're now in positive on water. Thank heavens. I was a little bit concerned. Not going to lie. Okay, so this is one of the essence rewards. We've managed to get to day 20. This is where... the entire game can change. You can break your build by picking the wrong thing, not anticipating how the synergies are going to work, or you can make absolutely broken synergies. Right now, Cow Deluge, plus 20 product, 20, but plus 40 water costs. We could not survive with that. 10% chance of getting 1 card of soy every time a structure transforms an item. Limit of 10 cards per turn, or bright corn. Corn will cost no water, but uses energy equivalent to what they would water, and 2 times production, and plus 5 gold to all corn. Now, 2 times production is huge. But, I mean, I would like this, but we're going to have to then make sure we've got energy before I start placing corn down. But corn is... it's not a bad crop, honestly. I can't check out the cards, unfortunately. Sometimes you've got a little eye icon down here which allows you to look. You can skip if you just don't want it, but honestly, I would say try and be flexible and work into a build. Certainly early on, there's no reason not to. Later on, once you're really established with a specific build, it makes more sense to be like, no, this would just break my game. There's no point in me going for this. Let's see. Let's go ahead and pop you down there. We'll continue to work with the carrots right now. Actually, I can pop that down. We're back into a deficit. Hopefully we'll get... there we go, another well. Very, very nice. Very nice indeed. Let's re-roll. It's always a free 1 re-roll. Popsicle at this point would be quite nice as well. Let's get another well down. We'll pop you right there. We are now just breaking even, so I really can't afford to place down any of my rabbits. It makes me sad, but here we are. I can get some more popsicles just to help out our cows, and I see no reason not to. That's bringing us in a goodly bit of peanuts here. That's 288 just on peanuts, 33 from the rabbit's feet, 123 for the carrots, and 20 for the wheat. Yeah, I mean, we are a peanut farm at this point. Let's be quite blunt about that. I would like to reserve those 2 tiles, but maybe that's not the right play. Maybe I should start a popsicle farm over here instead. But right now, these cows are producing a lot. Let's see what else we can get. We've got a bunch of water wells, which would be useful. However, let's have a look at blue wheat. If fed to a chicken, it gives electric eggs and 40 energy. Plus 1 energy per adjacent island sunflower. Costs 1 energy. So it doesn't really produce anything itself. We don't have chickens. Nor do we have the corn to feed the chickens. We don't have any sunflowers either. Sunflowers, plus 3 production if there are no structures within 2 island range. We'd also get plus 1 production to adjacent island crops that use energy. Costs 1 water and produces sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds sell for a decent amount. We can use them in a biofuel generator, or we can use them in a crusher. I mean, it's an investment, but sure, okay, we'll grab those. I'm going to need the water wells no matter what I do, so let's go ahead and pop that down as well. May as well get these over here. We'll continue expanding out infrastructure on the side. Back into the negatives, unfortunately, but that's the way that one's going to be for now. Right, to get this one to work, I want an island where I'm only producing crops and nothing else. It's going to be expensive to do that because I've got to grow out quite far. Now, here we've got the 2 island range. As long as I build no more structures, now bear in mind, a fence is a structure, a well is a structure, then I can start planting my sunflowers all the way over there. But we're already kind of in the red for water, so maybe I should hold on to that for a little bit. There we are. Lots of plants here. We've got the electric carrots now. Electric carrots produces 5 energy. If adjacent to a rabbit, the rabbit eats it, making the rabbit produce 5 energy per production. Cost 1 water. Gives. I mean, that's honestly quite amazing. Sure, we'll take it. I see no reason not to. I'm going to need to fit these carrots in somewhere, though. Where is a good question. But doesn't... Oh, no, it does consume water, unfortunately. Well, I've got a little spot over here I could start fitting them in. Let's pop that in. You're now producing energy, so yeah, we've got energy coming in. Now, these are expensive. Again, I can weather not having water for a little while, but eventually my crops will start to die. And if it's some of the expensive crops, then that's quite a heavy loss. Let's re-roll for a few times until we find something that gives me water. The fishermen's hut sadly do not produce water. Water wells, there we go. 900 paid, not too bad. We'll pop this down, if only to get it out of my deck. Oh my lord, thank you so very much. I'm going to place this over here. I guess I could place it here as well and maximize the production on this island a little bit more. Sure, okay, so that island is now completely used. We're generating 13 water per turn. That is so much better now. And at this point, I can start placing down some sunflowers as well. And I could probably put some peanuts somewhere if I really, really wanted to. Sure, we'll start a little bit of a peanut farm over here as well. Now, we've got some more popsicles. We've got some more electric carrots. Can I get this over here? I wonder if it would be better for me to start another island in order to place these down. The reason why I wonder about that is I don't have a space now to add 4 of them together in a cluster. I'm not sure if they will maximize production if I just build them out like this in a line. I think I'm going to, you know what, we can experiment, sure. We'll pop them down. So it's 5 and 5 right now, and we'll see how that one goes. Right, let's go ahead and pop down a popsicle as well. Get a bit more peanuts coming in, up to 29 peanuts. But I could now potentially throw this down. This would cost me an extra 6, but that isn't including the 4 that it would need. +1 production to itself and cows in adjacent islands, but +2 water cost to each cow on adjacent islands. I'm going to wait until I've actually got a surplus of water rather than a negative before I start playing around with that. We've now got water cows. Happy days. 0 water cost to adjacent island crops, but it occupies 3 slots. That is an amazing find. I will take it even if I can't place it right now. Do I have a fence? I do not have a fence. I'm not sure if I've got enough room here, but it would be a great place to put it, but I very much doubt I do, given the amount of rabbits I've got in there, sadly. All right, let's continue to build this up. Oh no, is the popsicle considered a... for some reason I was thinking of that as a crop. That was very silly of me. But in my defense, okay, I've played Candy Box a lot, and I think of lollipops as trees. Don't question it, okay? This game has fuel wheat, all right? The idea of a popsicle tree doesn't seem that out of place. He says, trying to justify his derp. Oh well. Let's continue building the carrots. I don't think they're going to get a production bonus, sadly. And this area is a bit less useful for me as sunflowers, but I'll expand it out a little bit further, and then I'll start placing more sunflowers over there. Now, I would love it if you had enough room, but you don't. Of course you don't. That would be too easy. Alright, well, let's have a look if we can find... I mean, I could take an extra water well, we kind of need it now. But I would really like a field. Let's see if we can't find a field. A watery tree is also a valid option. -1 water cost on all crops on adjacent islands and produces water equivalent to the total production of the crops on the same island. This could be very good on the right island. I won't be able to fit it down there, sadly. And you do want it with an island that's adjacent to crops as well. And right now we've got most of the islands that aren't. But if I were to place it here, I would remove all of the needs of quite a lot of the crops around it. It won't generate much water, sadly. But I think we can make this work. Let's go ahead and pop this watery tree right there. Boom. Perfect. Wonderful, in fact. I'm very much okay with this. We can also place a watery tree over here. This one will actually produce a little bit. There we go. But it's not going to remove the water cost on its own island. But since I wanted to expand out anyway, and go ahead and start building sunflowers over here. There we go. That's nice for production. Let's have a look at what we're making. So our sunflower seeds are currently making 64. Our electric carrots are making 62. 162 peanuts a turn are making 486. Yeah, this is looking quite nice. Looking quite healthy right now. In fact, it's looking so healthy, I might even go as far as to place down an apple tree. Sure. Place that down. It's a goodly bit of extra production there. That's now producing 5. I could place down a second one perhaps, or I could mix things up, make it look a little bit pretty. Sure, let's make it look a little bit pretty. That's making 7 there. Very, very nice indeed. It's because of the 2 wells that it's got with it. Got some more carrots. Let's continue expanding that out. Got another water cow that I could put somewhere eventually, I guess. This place is going to have a lot of production, I suspect. Mind you, this place does as well. As does this. Sure. Well, no. I think I'm going to place it down here. And the reason I'm going to place it over here is I know that I'm going to fill this place out with sunflowers. And I'll remove all of the water demands of that area. And this will have a decent production eventually. So we'll continue working towards that goal. Got one more apple tree. I'm going to place this one over here. We'll have 2 apple trees together. There we are. It's helped out a little bit. It's generating an okay amount. I guess I could have put it up there for the better production for the water cost, but that's fine. Right, another watery tree. We've got a silo. We've got an antenna. We're producing plenty of energy. The antenna produces energy by 2 energy per thing on adjacent islands. The silo does 2 times production and water cost to wheat in a range of 1 island. So it's not adjacent. Adjacent is orthogonal, whereas range is literally the 8 tiles around the island if it's 1 range and further out and further out. But none of these really that useful for me right now. What we really need, desperately need in fact, is fuel. The cutter over here will take energy though. We could turn carrots into grated carrots. So that doubles the value of carrots, which is not terrible. And should we at some later time have yogurt available to us, we could make carrot yogurt. We could also make chocolate carrot cake. That is a bonkers combo. I can't even imagine how long you would have to have been going to get to that point. We have also got some sheep as well. But right now, we actually don't have a place where we can put our sheep. So I'm going to keep rolling. Oh, there we go. Medium fences. Perfect. All right. We have now got a very, very good option available to us. This tree has removed all of the need for water in this area, mostly. But not so much here. So I'm going to prepare that area for a medium fence. Right. We are going to have to pay 8,110 days. And we get a new option. Right, wheat creates another wheat at a random empty space of their island. I mean, that's not terrible, honestly. It would allow us to start spreading wheat just with a single wheat patch on an island. It will just take care of itself at that point. But, I mean, they're still going to need water. We can have flush every turn, get 4 equal cards with their gold cost increasing by 1 for each card drawn this turn. You only get 4 cards per turn. No. Home sweet home. 2 times slots of all structures. That is a no-brainer for us, because that means I can place so much more around here. That is going to be wildly useful. This now has that 16 slots is going to be 32 slots. Absolutely wondrous. As for our rabbit population down here, that's going to balloon very shortly. So, to that end, I'm thinking, we could place some carrots around. Yeah, sure, let's pop some more carrots around. Place these down here because we're going to be increasing, or rather removing the water cost very, very shortly. This is probably going to be full of cows, I should imagine, since we've got so much popsicles around here. So I'm going to place another apple tree there. I'm going to hold on to these fences, though, until I have a better reason to place them down. I'm going to place the water cows right here. I was preparing this for the water cows, but once I do this, won't need them. I mean, I could put them there if I really wanted to, but we're not going to do that just yet. I would like another apple tree, though. We're going to go ahead and place that in here. There we go. Very nice production on those. One water cow has removed all of the water demands of the crops around it, which is absolutely marvelous. Right, we've got fuel cows. Okay, I was saying that we needed some fuel. Now, the problem with fuel cows, they produce fuel equivalent to the total fuel produced in adjacent islands. Now, placing these fuel cows down here will generate huge amounts of fuel, assuming that I get to producing fuel crops nearby. And I'd only get 2 for the roll. So I don't think that's a good pick for us right now. Got more peanuts. I could grab those, but really I want something that produces fuel. So let's keep looking for a fuel crop. I've got a bit of cash. I mean, that's a bit of a better one now. Fuel peanuts, I mean, I guess. Produces 3 fuel for each production. Costs 2 fuel, though, so it's only producing 1 fuel. Adjacent island, peanut cows eat it, making it use fuel instead of water. Now, that wouldn't be the best thing for us, because our carrots are currently making our peanut cows not require water. Whereas, if I switch them from needing water to fuel, well, they're just going to need fuel. But this will give me fuel peanuts, which I would be able to break down into water if I had a biofuel generator. It's not the best option for me, but it is an option. I could place it up here next to some field cows, because I don't believe that these turn... No, there has to be an adjacent peanut cow. I don't think they themselves turn cows into peanut cows. I mean, I could be wrong. We'll see. But let's go ahead and place these down. They consume fuel, but they produce fuel, so I don't need to worry about placing down a water cow there. We should be good for now. Alright, let's continue to fill this little island out. This isn't the best crop to place down there, if I'm perfectly honest, with production of fuel, but it'll do for now. Fuel wheat. Produces 5 fuel, costs 1 water. Okay, that's a bit of a better deal. I'll take the fuel wheat, thank you. There we are. And then eventually we'll get some fuel cows and we can start making some decent fuel out of this. I mean, of course, it would be better if this was an isolated island just surrounded by fuel. And this is where learning the synergies and being really familiar with the game would start to pay off. But as you can see, the game is already starting to become a little bit visually overstimulating. Let's zoom out a little bit. You can zoom out to about here, and I think it's still legible at this size. Let's turn that off, and it makes it even better. All right, let's have a look. More fuel wheat to go down. I'm not going to bother putting a water cow in here just to deal with some fuel wheat. That shouldn't be necessary. Now, depending on whether fuel corn is needed or not, then I might. We've got grapes. We've got another watery tree. Perhaps I could put a watery tree over here. Or down here, maybe, to benefit from the massive production of the carrots. I think that actually might not be a bad move. Sure, and I'll get 3 of them, so it's definitely not a bad... it's not a poor exchange. There we are. We'll continue expanding out our wheat over here. There we are. We'll pop down 1 watery tree there. It's generating 116 water. That is absolutely bonkers great. Now, if I placed it over there, it would barely generate anything. So I'm going to go for another 116 water. I'm just going to place it down here. Now, as long as I put crops around it that use a decent bit of water, like 2 water per crop, that still is worthwhile for us. Right, there's our 8k, but we definitely need to be making more money at this point. We can't make the money that we're going to need as I spend it to get through this. So I definitely need to start upgrading my crops. Silo won't do that for us. I need a machine that is going to... No, a biofuel generator might have been useful before, but not anymore. I need something... Oh, engineer cow. Halves the resource cost of structures in a 2-island range. Now, you are potentially useful. since our current cost is 220 a day, if I placed you there, 2 island range would pretty much cover... In fact, if I placed an engineer cow here, it would reduce the cost of all of these. The popsicle stand wouldn't be grabbed, but if I placed it here, it would. That would actually reduce it quite a lot. Well, it would reduce it by 110, because it would hit every structure that I have. But I think I need more money than that. A barn over here, water, energy, and fuel costs to animals in range. Oh, ×2. ×2 production as well. What is your range? Doesn't quite say. I could place it over here. I think it's quite a large structure. But assuming it can go out 2 tiles, then this would be quite amazing, but it would dramatically increase the cost of our animals. But we are producing a lot. And doubling our production might give us enough. It's not where I really want to be, but I will take it. I will take it for now. And it's already popped up. Perfect. That's okay. Let's pop that down. Yeah, it's a massive structure. And there we go. Right, that should help out. We're currently generating 1,234 per turn. Did it not hit them? I didn't see it. Oh, maybe it's only directly around it. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Yeah, it's probably directly around it then. Oh, well, that is a shame. Sometimes it very clearly highlights what's in range, and if it doesn't highlight it, maybe I just didn't notice it, but if it doesn't grey out a tile, it means it reaches that far. Or that's how I've taken it, or what I've taken it to mean, but okay, I'm going to have to try and make use of this then. But that one's going to be a bit of a rough ask at this point. Let's re-roll. I could fill it with chickens. Unfortunately, I'm not making any corn, so that wouldn't help. Giant sunflower. +1 production for every 2 energy produced in this turn. And it produces sunflowers. Okay. +1 production. 70 sunflower seeds. Oh, sorry, every 35 sunflower seeds. I mean, still not bad. Alright, I'll take it. Let's pump you down right there. Dunk. It's 23. Was I misreading that? I might have been. Right. Let's see. We've only got 4 days now to make the money that we need. I'm not sure that that's going to happen, unfortunately. Bit of a misplay with the barn there. That was a very big expense that I was expecting to pay off a lot better. Again, though, it does come down to learning the synergies. That one might have been that I just didn't notice that it wasn't highlighting things. Or maybe I should have expected to see it update the nerd stats of the cows if it was within range, but part of this is just a learning experience, unfortunately. Let's go ahead, see what we can do. Yeah, we're barely making enough money right now. That is a grand shame, but all good things have to come to an end eventually. Should I pop this little watery tree over here just for the sake of it? Get a little bit of extra water in? Sure, why not? There we go. You know what? Let's not leave you out there by yourself. You can go live in that pasture there. Now we get the fuel cows. Of course we do. We also get the mill that I could use to turn my wheat into flour, which sells a little bit better. I'll take the fuel cows. Won't be able to do anything with them, but there we are. Fuel grapes. Grapes take no water, but take 10 fuel each and produce equivalent to the fuel surplus. Wow. Or Dionysian rites. Every 10 turns, get 4 extra production to crops and 3 times production to grapes for 5 turns. Well, that would have been truly amazing. I will take it because it's by far the better one there, but unfortunately, we didn't make it. That is going to be it for this first taste of Terracards. I hope you have enjoyed, though, the derp with the barn notwithstanding. I really, really do enjoy this game. It is very, very intricate. The synergies expand extremely quickly. You can have absolutely broken builds, or as you've seen by misunderstanding something, you can break your build, though realistically this didn't really break anything that was going on. It's just there was a lot of money that I could have perhaps spent in a way that would have generated more cash for us. We didn't really upgrade any of our crops. We were just getting by with, well, I mean, other than the fact that our cows were lactating peanuts. I don't think about it. But, you know, it is what it is. That being said, also our rabbits were generating electricity, so, you know, lactating peanuts is probably the least weird thing that was going on. But I hope you have enjoyed. That is going to be it from me for now. Do let me know if you'd like to see more tarot cards in the future, and perhaps we will see an extra episode popping up over the next couple of days. But until next time, and as always, that's it from me and from my water cows, peanut cows, and sometimes electrical rabbits as well. Take care, everyone.